Good day everyone, I'm Kim Alexa Cantong from Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. So, my next topic is about wastewater treatment and disposal. Wastewater treatment and disposal are determined by the estimated volume of sewage generated from residences, businesses, and industries connected to sewage system, as well as the anticipated inflows and infiltration. There are three levels of wastewater treatment. The primary, the secondary, and tertiary are called the advanced. Primary treatment remove materials that will either float or readily sail out by gravity. It includes the physical processes of screening, comminution, removal, and sedimentation. They blank floating debris such as woods, rocks, and other bulky objects that will block pipes or pumps. In modern plants, the screens are cleaned mechanically and materials improperly disposed by the ground of the land ground. Then, next is the secondary treatment. Secondary treatment removes the soluble organic matters that escape primary treatment. It is also remove more the suspended solids, and removal is usually accomplished by biological processes in which microbes consume the organic impurities as foods, converting them into the carbon dioxide, water, and energy for their own growth and reproduction. In secondary treatment, there are basic biological treatment methods. First is the trickling filter. Trickling filters simply a tank filled with a deep bed of stones. Settled sewage is sprayed continuously over the top of the stones and trickles to the bottom, where is the collected for further treatment. So, next one is the activated sludge. Consists of an erosion tank followed by a secondary clarifier. Settled sewage mixed with fresh sludge that is recirculated from the secondary clarifier is introduced into the erosion. So this activated sludge process is a type of biological wastewater treatment process for drinking sewage or industrial wastewater using the aeration of biological composed of bacteria and protozoa. The next one is the oxidation pump. It is also called black rooms or stabilization pumps. Are large swallow pumps designed to treat wastewater into the interaction of sunlight and bacteria and algae also. Then the last is rotating biological conductor. This rotating biological conductor, a series of large plastic discs mounted on a horizontal shaft, are partially submerged in primary influence. As the shaft rotates, the discs are exposed alternately to air and wastewater, allowing a layer of bacteria to grow on the disc and metabolize the organics in wastewater. So this technology involves allowing wastewater to come in contact with the biological medium in order to facilitate the removal of contaminants. And the next one is the tertiary treatment. When the intended receiving water is very vulnerable to the effect of pollution, secondary effluent may be treated further by several tertiary processes. So here are the tertiary processes. The effluent polishing. For the removal of additions, suspended solids, and BOD from secondary effluent polishing is an effective treatment. Here in effluent polishing are usually built in prefabricated units with tanks placed directly above the fillers for storing backwash water. It is used by removing specific remaining pollutants or substance from the water flow. The next one is the removal of plant nutrients. Phosphorus in wastewater is usually present from the organic compounds and phosphates that can easily be removed by chemical precipitation. which ammonious nitrogen is first converted into nitrates by microorganisms. By removing the nutrient, wastewater treatment plants help protect aquatic ecosystem. The next one is the land treatment. In land treatment, there are three types. The slow rate, rapid infiltration, and overland flow. The first is in the slow rate or irrigation method. Effluent is applied onto the land by ridge and furrows spreading or in ditches or by sprinkler systems. Second is in the rapid infiltration method. The wastewater is stored in large pans called recharge basins. Most of the percolate of the groundwater and very little is absorbed by vegetation. The last one is in overland flow. Wastewater is sprayed onto the inclined vegetated terrace and slowly flows to a collection ditch. Next is the cluster wastewater treatment system. In certain instances, it is not feasible to connect residences or units to public sewer systems. Communities may opt for a clustered wastewater treatment system. Next, on-site septic tanks and leaching field. On-site systems provide effective, low-cost, long-term solution for wastewater disposal as long as they are properly designed, installed, and maintained. And the most common type of on-site system includes the buried watertight septic tanks and the subsurface absorption field, also called the drain field or the leaching field. The septic tank serves as a primary sedimentation and sludge storage chamber, removing most of the sealable and floating materials from the effluent wastewater. Next one is the wastewater reuse. Wastewater can be valuable resources in cities or towns where population is growing and water supplies are limited. In addition to easing the strain or limited freshwater supplies, the use of wastewater can improve the quality of streams and lakes by reducing the effluent discharges that they receive. So there are two types of wastewater reuse: the direct and indirect. Direct reuse treated wastewater is piped into some water system without first being diluted in the natural stream or lakes in groundwater. The second one is the indirect reuse. It is also accomplished by discharging reclaimed wastewater in the groundwater, aquifer, and later withdrawing the water for use. Discharge into a aquifer called artificial recharge is done by either deep well injection or shallow surface screening. The next one is the treatment sludge disposal. Mixed sludge received from the secondary wastewater treatment is passed through a dissolved air flotation tanks where solids rise to the surface are skimmed off. The thickened sludge is pumped in with steam, then passed the thermal hydrolysis where large molecules such as proteins and lipids are broken down under the heat and pressure. The hydrolyzed sludge is passed through the flash tank, where a sudden drop in pressure causes cells to burst, and then the anaerobic digestion, where bacteria convert dissolved organic matters to biogas, which can be used to the fuel treatment process. Digested sludge is passed through the dewatering steps. The dried solids are disposed of and the water is sent back to the secondary treatment. So, in treatment, sludge disposal involves the managing the residual materials generated from wastewater treatment processes. So, here are the treatment methods. Treatment of sewage sludge may include a combination of thickening, digestion, and dewatering processes and disposal. The first is the thickening. is usually the first step in sludge treatment because it is impractical to handle sludge as slurry of solid suspended in water. Thickening is usually accomplished in a tank called a gravity thickener. The next one is the digestion. In digestion, first, the sludge digestion is a biological process in which organic solids are decomposed into stable substances. Digestions reduce the total mass of solids, destroy pathogens, and make it easier to water or dry the sludge. The next digestion is the anaerobic digestion. It's very sensitive to temperature, acidity, and other factors. It requires careful monitoring and control. In some cases, the sludge is inoculated with extra high hydrolytic enzymes at the beginning of the first digestion stage in order to supplement the action of the bacteria. The next one is dewatering. Dewatering digests sewage sludge, which usually dewatering before disposal. Watered sludge still contains a significant amount of water, often as much as 70%, but even with the moisture content, sludge no longer behaves as a liquid and can be handled as a solid material. The last one is the disposal. The final destination of treated sewage sludge usually in the lab. The watered sludge can be buried underground in a sanitary landfill. Next is the emerging technologies. Experts in the wastewater treatment sectors have been working and implement established technologies and to improve environmental rules and regulations to meet water quality goals and human health protections. At the same time, the industry has also been transitioning to prepare for future challenges such as climate change, changing population, and aging infrastructures. Next is the improved treatment methods. Many older wastewater treatment facilities require upgrading because it is increasingly strict water quality standards. But this is often difficult because of limited space for expansion. In order to allow improvements of treatment efficiencies without requiring more land areas, new treatment methods have been developed. So these include the membrane bioreactor process, the bus flux reactor, and the integrated fixed film activated sludge or IFAS process. Automation. Advanced wastewater purification processes involve biological treatments that are sensitive to processing parameters and to the environment. To ensure stable and reliable operations, the physical, chemical, and biological processes treatments. Treatment plants quite often need to implement sophisticated technologies involving complex instrumentation and process control system. And the last one is the environmental consideration. Natural treatments, energy conservation, and carbon footprint reduction are some of the key considerations for communities facing energy and electricity challenges. Green technologies and the use of renewable energy resources, including solar and wind power for wastewater treatments, are evolving and will help minimize the environmental impacts of the human activities. And thus, ecological and economical natural wastewater treatment and disposal system have already gained importance in many places, especially in smaller communities. This includes construct wetlands, lagoons, stabilization, ponds, soil filters, drip irrigation, groundwater